All right, this one's going to be a little more lighthearted, a lot shorter, hopefully, and a lot less potentially controversial. Something I've noticed recently is an uptick in actual industry chatter about Filian, the relatively famous indie VTuber who kind of upped and vanished 2 months ago. As a quick refresher, it was more or less a planned disappearance. It wasn't just that she stopped streaming or anything. She did a long Minecraft marathon along with a couple other people. And while doing so, at the end of it, she did a small little pre-recorded bit, if you will. This was the wrong place to come. I'm just looking for the guy's armor set right now. Essentially, she did a little pre-planned, pre-recorded bit where she disappeared into the abyss of the World Wide Web, and it triggered an alternate reality game, an ARG, where people are picking through, cryptic and cloaked clues, trying to find out something. Not really sure what. Maybe she comes back when the ARG is solved, but if that's the case, she's going to have a hard time because her community, much like me, is at least a little bit retarded and probably a little bit busy. So I've been relying on, other schizos and whatnot to actually dig into anything. But one of the things I noticed in the wake of everything, especially after I had the inability to really follow along, I was there for the initial couple of cryptic YouTube streams that had music and sound effects. But there was virtually no one within her, I guess you could say, co-workers, more properly friends and contemporaries, who were even talking about what was going on. You had her clippers, and maybe I didn't even notice the big drama tubers. They didn't really talk about it. None of her friends, anyone she'd been streaming with recently, that I'm aware of, the people she had been doing the marathon with, just kind of acted like it didn't happen. And that's kind of what everybody did. It's like there was a unspoken behind-the-scenes agreement that everyone was just going to ignore the fact that Filian was gone. And there is a what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of an industry common courtesy that you don't talk about another streamer in someone else's stream because they want to, be talking about what they're interested in, not what so-and-so is doing over there, right? So there is a bit of a license to sort of ignore when someone comes up and says, hey, what do you know about what Filian's doing, right? But I've also noticed that almost 2 months later, that dam seems to be breaking. And if there was an unspoken or behind the scenes sort of handshake agreement that people weren't going to talk about it, either it's wearing off or it was meant to wear off. And we might, just me speculating, fingers crossed, maybe she's, coming back soon. But I noticed that a lot of her, friends and inner to medium range circle people were starting to say, hey, Filian is missing, Filian is doing this, Filian is, I'm waiting for her to come back, I hope she comes back soon. That I've noticed. We've got Cha-Cha with her ice joke, which, number one, nothing wrong with it. Number two, actually kind of funny. Not ha-ha funny, but I got a chuckle out of it. And props on her for not bending the knee. That's how you're supposed to do it. Where should I go next? I haven't done that one. After Cha-Cha, I noticed Kirsha started talking about it in a couple of streams. Basically saying something along the lines of Filian's on an island, don't worry about it, or, just mentioning the whole Cha-Cha situation. I've seen Lucy Pyre say something. I've seen Camilla say something recently. There was that one cosplayer who went as her to TwitchCon who said something about missing her, I believe. I saw that posted on Le Twitter. Uh, so that's coming up on about half a dozen people who should know or who should be in the loop on this sort of thing, all within the span of like a week or two, coming out and saying, boy, I sure do miss Filian. I hope she comes back soon. So does that mean anything? Is the ARG getting any closer to being solved? I don't think there's really been any movement on that in like a month that I'm aware of. So, who knows? I just figured I'd, put in my 2 cents and say I am reading the tea leaves, rolling the bones, looking up at the stars and saying, 2 more weeks, guys, trust, right? I don't know. That's all I got. Have a good one.